always want to, get the flow going, so that way, like, I don't need to worry about running levels because we're all actively gabbing, just gabbing away.
I probably should ask this first. Mind you, I don't really use that much foul language, but do you have any kind of like restrictions on that kind of stuff? Normally, I'm
No.
pretty good about anything like that, but
That's a
yeah.
good thing to ask, though. But no, I would not be able to keep up with that if we did. I would not.
How's it going,
Or
by the
well,
way?
Mason wouldn't be able to keep up with it because he'd have to edit it all out.
Yeah. Better way of putting it. Hi, how's it going, by the way? We have a special guest. Hey, I started the episode.
No, wait. I gotta grab some water and things.
That's funny. Too bad. How's it going? We have a very special guest today. It is someone who I actually reached out to online. On Reddit specifically. We have ourselves. How do I put this? A field profession ready to give us some insider info about something that you probably know nothing about, because I don't either. We have ourselves today. I should probably pull up.
You wanna give your name?
My name's Thomas. So there's like 20 different words we go by. Naturist, nudist. Some people describe like what we do as, nudism, naturism, all that fun kind of jazzy speak. There's a lot of nature related words in it.
Really? I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I get, like, I mean, it's natural. You're not, like, putting a man-made thing on your body. It's, it's just you're being yourself, the all natural, if as they put it.
Of course.
So does this activity usually take place outside then, given the nature aspect of the words?
So it kind of depends on the event. I've done everything from like going on hikes with groups of people to doing karaoke in a bar. So
Gotcha.
the range is very, very wide.
Question though, sorry, you looked like you're about to hop on a train there. I
lost the train. It's all good.
Don't we all? Was the bar like specifically for that, or was it like just welcoming, I guess?
No, and it was kind of a funny story actually how this all happened. The guy so we're organized through a meetup group, like the group I initially got involved in here in my city, and apparently the first time I like went to a bar event, it was for karaoke. And they literally just asked random bars. This guy said, sure. So I go upstairs, and the bartender himself is naked, and I'm just like, oh, so you're joining in. Awesome.
Okay.
Unless you're, like, part of this event, then either way, also. He's like, oh, I own this building. I was like, oh, even better. I was like, what got you, like, interested in doing this? He's like, I saw everyone else doing it, so I was like, I'm going to take off my underwear, too. It's my store.
If everybody else is going to be taking their pants off, I mean...
If everyone
Of
else got
course.
naked, would you? I mean, yeah.
I guess so. Maybe some dude wearing my polo.
The worst part of that is I actually took 3 friends to that specific event. And before we went to it, they all said they wanted to like participate, and we got there. 2 of them decided to participate. The other one left early and, kind of chickened out sort of deal. But it is what it is.
Hey, I mean, if you're getting into it, I mean, I could see why. I mean, I probably would need some extra coaxing to like try that out for the first time too. But it's so you are. Sorry, were you saying something?
Yeah, well, generally speaking, it takes around 15 minutes for someone to be less self-conscious in that kind of situation. And maybe another 15 minutes to stop staring around at everyone else's situation going on.
I like that you've got that time down to a science. I respect that.
Yeah, it's definitely been proven in scientific studies.
Oh, okay. So never mind. I thought you just had the stopwatch out every now and then, every time you introduce somebody to it.
Oh, that's exactly what I did.
Oh shit! Well, there you go. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, being an adventurous person, once you are naked in nature like once or twice, after that you're kind of good. Like there's always that initial kind of like, I guess it depends, because usually you're fully clothed because you've got to go out and about in public.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get to your spot and you're like, okay, but then you just cool off. Yeah. I didn't participate in any kind of like nudist event per se. I just have been a part of a lot of like photography projects and interesting groups of people. I'll say that.
Nudists tend to be like very, very involved with like the photography students and different schools, and also like the art students, because there's always is like a need to draw a naked body for like an art project.
Draw or photograph, yeah, because I mean, there's just literally every naked body has this like raw beauty about it, and I love that. And so like when photographers like can capture that, or artists, it's like, ooh, I just love stuff like that.
It's it's honestly extremely freeing. And so I had like an initial kind of idea that I was going to be a nudist, but the first time I actually went to an event, it was to fuck with a friend of mine.
Okay.
And I ended up loving it. So
hey, best kind of way to figure out, like,
of course,
do it for the come for the giggles, stay for the love, the love of the sport.
That's exactly how it happened.
So I'm curious, like you say you're also a comedian, you do like stand-up places, like which one of those came first, out of curiosity?
Oh, that's actually kind of okay. So I think comedy originally came first, but I was maybe doing comedy for like 2 weeks until the initial trip happened.
Oh, okay. So you just, you're really just the life experiences and changes are all happening at once, huh? That's wild.
Yeah, well, I have a obsession with trying new things and just kind of like seeing what happens, sort of deal.
No, I feel that. Haven't done it as much recently, but I can definitely get down with that sort of vibe.
Ended up being a huge prop to my stand-up comedy also. Like for a newer comedian like me, it's usually like really hard to book gigs and stuff. Mm-hmm. Being open-minded and also having the nudist stuff that I could now put in my set ended up getting me a few gigs like within my first year of doing stand-up comedy. I've only been doing it for like 2 years now.
Yeah, I mean, that's some like real good unique content right there for sure. I could definitely see that.
Of course. Some people looks like you're just making, dick jokes, but it is what it is.
It's dick jokes with experience. There you go.
There we go. I like that. One of the story's a little bit bad, so I don't know if I should say it. I will try to tone it down a little bit. How about that?
Okay.
So I had this. The second time I was at a nudist event, there was a older lady. I was sitting down. She came up and stood very close to me. I think there might have been something going on up there, but she had a cat tattoo right above her bits down there.
Huh.
And her bits are about this far from my face. And mind you, this is like a 75-year-old lady. And my first instinct is like, I could headbutt this if I wanted to. But I'm just staring at this cat tattoo. She starts talking to me about Joe Rogan and like DMT and stuff. And she starts like showing me all of her psychedelic paintings, which I think she's the only person that was into that stuff there. But I was down to listen.
Down to find somebody.
But I have this really stupid... Of course. She was awesome. I love her, to be honest. I made this really lame joke about it's the first time I've seen a woman with like, 2 cats going on there. I did this at a bar.
Yeah.
With just a regular open mic. There's a crowd of 8 and there's a lot of elderly ladies listening. I said that joke. Most of them laughed, but one didn't. I was just like, well, there's a one person that's going to be pissed off at me. And it was no less than like a minute later, she bursts out laughing in the middle of like a completely different story. And she's like, I get it now. It meant she had 2 vaginas. It killed me.
Oh, I get it. It's like 2 pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Not one, not uno, but then there's dos. All right. So it's kind of a coinciding thing. That's really cool. We kind of got that going on with our Twitch stuff as well. We tend to like try to do brand related stuff with like our podcast like on Twitch too. Granted, it's not always easy to find the time, but you know we're trying to get out there.
I completely get that.
So I guess so for the listeners, I've also been given utmost power, which is this list of questions that he has prepared for us. I am so excited to do this because this is like 3 times more than the kind of preparation we're used to from our guests, because usually the people we do interview are like people that we know personally or like friends or something like that. So usually they're like, okay, I'm just gonna come on and chat, or like we're gonna talk about a movie. But nah, we actually have items to go through here, and I am really excited to get to some of these items because of the way that you wrote them. So starting off here, I want to know what happens. Say I'm getting out there for the first time, and I really don't know what to do, and I don't really know where things are going. What happens if I get a boner?
Starting off strong.
Oh, yeah.
So that is probably one of the most common questions I get from the guy is okay, so the list of questions I provided you came from a bunch of comedians asking me these questions and me answering them on repeat, and I just started linking them to this page I made.
Smart.
So first of all, getting a boner probably won't happen unless you're trying to make it happen.
Interesting.
I'm not saying like random boners don't pop up. I mean, guys, it happens to all of us. We literally just get hit by the wrong gust of wind.
You know, and just all of a sudden, you know, all of your blood is not under your control anymore.
Exactly. It's how it goes. So first of all, like I was saying, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Because the scenario you'll kind of see it's very non-sexual pretty fast. I mean, everyone can be there, so there's, I would say maybe 10% of people I find even relatively attractive. But in the scenario it does happen, it kind of depends on like the kind of event where you might be. But the most common and courteous thing you could do is you're always going to be carrying a towel at a nudist event, especially if it's indoors, and you just put it over yourself or fold your legs.
Okay. So it's against like common courtesy to just like let it ride for the most part. I mean, I could see how that'd be awkward.
It matters heavily on the group of people around you. I personally don't think it's an issue because, you know, anyone that's been to a nudist event knows what a dick is gonna look like and what it does. So if it happens, it happens, sort of deal. Just, you know, as long as you're not being a creeper, most people don't really care.
I gotcha.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Huh. Because, I mean, I guess that's a question that I've asked myself a lot. Like, what if I went to, say, like a nudist beach? Something like that. Like, where, you know, I guess that's really, like, the main situation that I've, like, considered that happening. And I'm like, well, I guess you would just, like, I mean, you have a towel there, too. You wrapped yourself up in your towel or something like that. But, I want to touch on that. You mentioned like you have a towel with you. I think that was one of your questions, but is that like do you bring your own towel, or do they provide the towels usually at these events?
Most places will tell you to bring your own towel, and if you don't, you'll be provided with one.
Okay.
So I've never seen an unclean nudist, but simply for the sake of hygiene, you know, just in case, you always have a towel with you to put down on surfaces if you're gonna sit.
Okay.
Sort of deal.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's courteous. Yeah. Huh. I never really thought about that. How often do you usually see people, like, do any of them just, like, wear the towel at any point? Or is that really only to cover up if they, like, need to for previous mentioned reasons?
Thinking about it, I have never seen anyone wear a towel, but I don't think anyone would particularly care if you were.
Okay.
I mean, especially if you like just got out of the pool, it's a good way to like dry off, I suppose.
Okay.
It's very common to go into a wet sauna, and sometimes I'd put the towel around me leaving the wet sauna. Honestly, it was kind of more of a habit thing. I didn't really think about it.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you see on TV, people wrap the towel around themselves leaving the sauna.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it just something feels like real satisfying about like getting that like hook in, and it's like secure. It's like, man, I just have secured this thing on my body, and now I have
Especially
a kilt.
if you can jump and it doesn't fall off, it's officially a kilt.
You know, you're right.
There you go.
Speaking of kilts, though, I think it's wild that the customary. Why is that in Scotland, where it's already insanely cold, that dudes have those kilts where, you know, it causes a lot more updraft, but then also usually they don't wear underwear underneath the kilt whenever they're wearing it. That must get so cold. You imagine like a gust of wind like catching you underneath like at a bad time, like it'd be a shock to the system, I feel. I'd be a bit distracted from whatever I was doing.
Oh,
Maybe
very
that's
good.
what they're looking for.
Damn. You know what? You make a really
Making
good
sure
point.
they don't pop a boner in their kilt because too chilly down on their willy.
There you go.
Of course.
It's
That rhymed and it was awesome.
Ah, yeah.
It must be correct then. All
It,
right.
it rhymes, so it must be true.
Exactly. Okay, so I guess the other relevant question related to that we'll do one of each. Be fair here. What happens? Say I am on my period whenever I am attending one of these events. Just having that time, having the the stuff happen.
The stuff happened, yeah. I mean, so obviously having the parts I do, I don't have to deal with that. So I try to often kind of answer this question the best way I know how, but always recommend like talk to a girl that's interested in the community or Google it.
Talk to someone
But from
with the
what
parts.
exactly from what I have seen and noticed is usually if girls are going through that time of the month, they'll either like wear panty steel or I forget what the other item is called. I honestly don't remember. It's kind of like a pad, but it kind of sticks to your body. I don't know. It's weird technology. Most people wear the panties though, from what I've seen.
Fair. Okay. That makes sense. So, like, at these gatherings, so, like, you live in and around Pittsburgh. Do these events
Correct.
actually happen in the city, or is it, like, outside of the city, I guess?
So there was 2 bar events inside the city in the last week or two. There is a club that has a wet and dry sauna and like Olympic-sized pool that we use about every 3 or so weeks.
Crazy.
But there's also an event coming up near New York City, which is a long hike to like some waterfalls and stuff out there.
Ooh. That sounds
Yeah.
really pretty. Dude,
I'm super excited for that one.
I haven't been hiking in freaking forever. Like, Missouri's been great and all, but like there is nowhere to get out and into the nature right now. I mean, I'm close to the city myself, but like, I miss it. I miss it dearly. I miss being able to drive 10 minutes down to a hiking trail.
It's nice. And while I live in the city now, me and my girlfriend like very commonly take road trips down to this place called Heyo, which is apparently one of like the most popular tourist spots in the United States. Just for hiking, whitewater rafting, and skiing. There's Seven Springs Ski Resort near there.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that
Ooh.
place to me, but I didn't know about like hiking and skiing and shit. That's crazy. I did that a few times in with my family in Colorado way back when, but God, it's been years. I
I
gotta
tried
get back
skiing
out.
once, and I was like, this is not for me, and I'm cool with that.
I
I
I've
really
just
never
like
wish.
to like
skied.
Oh,
stay
there
here
you
and be
go.
cold.
You know,
I mean,
Not easy.
it's okay. I would really like to try snowboarding next time, but for sure, you are putting a lot of effort into just
Well, they
getting
say
up on a.
snowboarding's harder
I mean, it depends. I mean,
because
you
you're
put your.
attached to that board. So like you fall,
I
it's
mean, you
called
just
That's
scorpion
gotta.
fall.
I
You know what that is?
actually snowboarded as a kid, and then
Oh.
my brother ended up breaking his ankle whenever he was like 15. I was like 10, and my parents never let me snowboard again. So
They're like,
Damn.
that's enough of that for you kids.
Talking about ruining the fun. That sucks.
if
Tell
you've
your
never
brother
tried
he's.
tubing, though, tubing is fun.
Oh, I love
Ooh,
tubing, both on the
yeah.
water and the snow.
I've never
We
tried in the water.
we
Oh, it's
that
so
was
fun. You
my
get somebody
dad's
to throw
thing.
you around in a boat. They just like do a donut in the lake. It's
My dad could throw anybody off. That was like the goal. By the like, he would not stop until somebody was whipped off of it. But usually, I
That's how
wouldn't
my
be the
boyfriend's
one.
dad is too. And it's like terrifying, but also thrilling, but also still terrifying because I'm like, what if I fall? I'm going to.
That used to be the play. You would actually like at a certain point, you would just let go because you're like, all right, I can't do this anymore. Like I got it. We gotta stop this.
Yeah, fair,
Oh man,
fair.
that was terrifying. Uh, we would
It
break.
sounds like fun to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
it
great.
was fun, but also it's a good thing we had life jackets. That's for sure.
I can
PSA.
see that.
PSA,
Oh
PSA.
man.
Dude, honestly, what was even more dangerous was the ice tubing, though. In a couple of places that they have set up, like in like Missouri, Arkansas area.
Ice tubing?
Yeah, like they would be these hills that they would have prepared during the winter, and it'd be like padded down, and you grab your tubes in whatever like formation, and you slide down that hill real fast with a bunch of other people that are also there, and then it brings you over to like a conveyor belt that'll bring you back up over on the side. And so many times whenever I've gone on that, the ice will like it's supposed to be snow, but when it gets so cold and then it gets matted down and melted and refreezes, it's just fucking ice on that bitch. And then you go sliding down at 100 miles an hour, and you better fucking hope that there's not anybody going slower in front of you, because you will either go over or into them. And I remember one time, a neighbor of mine who was there with us, accident-prone kid anyway. He was in and out of the hospital so much as a kid, so like it's kind of unsurprising. But he got pulled away from us whenever we were going. So and he like sped way up, going down ahead of us, and he actually jumped. He jumped
The
over
like
some people.
ramp at the end.
Well, no, it wasn't a ramp. He just like the bumps that were on the thing caused him to jump up, and then it caused him to lose enough speed that another large party met him right as he was hitting the ground and actually just sent him flying, just off off past where the ending part was. They brought out a snowmobile to like bring him to the hospital. It was
Wow.
No, I feel bad. I shouldn't be laughing about this kid being in probably traumatic pain.
It's okay.
Like-
You don't know who he is.
That's actually the kind of tubing I was talking about, by the way. I loved it. It was so much fun.
Oh,
I
it was fun. Yeah.
I
Deadly,
once
though.
watched my friend that would take me. He was a very, very hefty kid. He was very, very big. And it must have just hit like the perfect condition of ice on like the flat part of the trail. But he just went across the entire flat part, through the rubber mats on the other side, and like a shotgun him up over a hill, over a road that was right beyond that hill, and then he
shit.
landed. Everything was fine, but it was great to watch.
Good thing he had the tube to be on. But no, I don't think I've ever seen someone get launched quite as high in my life. I feel like everybody's got their launching story. Aubrey, do you have a launching story?
I don't have a launching story.
Really? Your sister
I
never
don't.
got launched as a kid? She seems like the kind of kid that would have gotten launched. haphazardous, reckless, and whatnot. She was the athlete, so like, aren't all athletic kids the reckless ones?
Fair.
I mean, that was my sister too. I've never broken a bone in my body, and she broke 3 toes and an arm, but none of it was her fault. She just was just around accident-prone people, really.
That sounds so painful. I broke a toe once.
Oh, God, I can only imagine. How long did it take before you were able to, like, walk on that again?
I was able to walk, like, the entire time. Like, it was literally was just, like, the middle toe on my left foot I ended up breaking because I accidentally whacked it off a wall. I'm almost 6'4", and I tend to just hit my feet into everything.
Fair, yeah. You probably got some real duffers down there. So I'm not surprised. I mean, I whack my feet on stuff a lot, but yeah, if you're 6'4", that's. I mean, do you bump your head at all on like door frames and stuff? Because my 6'3" roommate does that sometimes.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at dodging that kind of stuff, but it happens.
Yo, I see Milo back there.
He's
Aubrey?
just chilling.
Buddy. Milo.
So, another question I really wanted to bring off the list here. This one was really, really killing me whenever I was looking at the list earlier. Aubrey can attest. Where do you put all your shit? Because you don't got pockets.
That is one of the biggest struggles, I think, in the community. So, actually, I was not thinking about this earlier. If you want me to go grab something I bought, but most people don't have, it'll take me like a second if you want me to grab it.
Do it, yeah.
Yes.
We'll see you in
Give
a
me
sec. I'm going to also shut my door. You entertain them, Aubrey.
So if you're watching the video version of our podcast available on YouTube, you'll see that my boyfriend just brought me a bowl of orange chicken that he just made. And it's delightful. It's P.F. Chang's available in the freezer aisle. P.F. Chang's, if you would respond to our emails about our ad sponsorship, then that'd be great.
Please return our calls. We're so hungry.
Please. Adam, I'm sorry.
So very, very
P.F.
hungry.
Chang's. So, I was super worried about my stuff in the beginning, so I got this little thing. It's kind of like a fanny pack.
Oh.
But it wraps around the leg, too. So
It's a thigh pack.
It's
yeah.
It's a thigh hugger. That's so honestly, really, it looks a lot cooler than the fanny pack.
It looks
It does look
honestly
a lot
the
cooler
first
than
time
fanny
I
pack.
saw it, it reminded me of like the Resident Evil movies. As lame as they are, I still love them because of how bad they are. But reminded me of them as like that would be perfect to carry my keys and wallet in.
Oh, I mean,
But
no, I don't want to cut you off. You're good.
It's all good. So like at a bar event, I'll normally wear that, but if I'm just like at a pool event or something where like people are just chilling, then I'll just like put it in my backpack or something like that. It kind of relies on trusting other people, but
No, I get that. It's kind of like when you're at the roller rink and you gotta stow away all your shit in those same cubbies. Just hope that nobody decides to raid your cubby. Yo, sorry, yeah.
Sometimes at a few of the bar events, they have like lockers that you could sign in and out to, but
Okay.
Oh.
then you don't have your phone and stuff unless you're carrying it in your hand, so that still comes useful.
Yeah, like what do you do whenever you're like awkward and you need like something else to like give your attention to?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean like even at an event like that, I'm sure, those situations still come up. Yo, could you imagine going to a nudist event at a roller rink though? Has that ever been a thing? You ever had any stories about that?
It would not surprise me if it is a thing because there recently was a bowling alley event.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, roller rink, bowling alley kind of can feel like, the same kind of feel to people, I think.
It's a similar vibe for sure, yeah. But like you're kind of like moving your body at extreme forces when you're roller skating though. I'd be kind of worried to do that myself, but I'm bad at it, so I worried that things wouldn't be secure when I fell, I guess.
That is a valid worry, and at best, I could tell you you'd be shit out of luck if something happened.
Okay. Next step, though. What about an ice rink? You think there's any nudist events happening at ice rinks around here?
I weirdly think that's more likely than the roller rink. Like, if there's an equal amount of them in places, I think the ice rink would be more likely. Because a lot of people...
The ice rink has those blades, and those ice skating blades are short.
Oh, yeah, so that'd be scary.
And also, you fall on your ass, like your bare ass on that ice while you're going a certain speed. I feel like that's going to hurt more than the wood.
Free vasectomy.
Yeah. No, free ball shave, too. No, but what will happen if, like... This is such a really edge case scenario. If, like, the ice is dry enough that, like, you fall or, like, you're, like, up against something somehow, and it, like, it freezes. Like, you get stuck to the ice.
Oh, my gosh, like the kid in A Christmas Story with his tongue stuck to the pole.
You fall on your
ass. Your ball skin stuck to the ice.
It'd be glorious.
Oh,
no. The worst part is there's a decent likelihood it'd be some poor 70-year-old dude with that happening.
Well, I mean, at least it's stretched out at that point, enough at that point that he could still stand up, you know?
Oh, no! No!
There we go. So there's a odd thing with, like, the nudist community. There's this odd thing that a lot of the people that ends up being nudists ends up being, like, upper class people. And whenever I say that, I'm not saying like not everyone is, and anyone can obviously come, but a lot of people that ends up doing these kind of events ends up being like some of the best people in their field. I've met politicians, news anchors, and a bunch of stuff like that. I met someone, I don't know if you guys are into like software development at all, but I met a guy that helped with a team that helped make the thing that turned into Git, which is one of like the most used technologies for coding.
Okay. Wild. Huh. I wonder how much of that may be like a confidence thing, and how much of that may be like I work extra hard, so I gotta relax extra hard.
So I gotta play extra hard.
Or, you know,
I mean, maybe.
You're just looking for some more, I think it's like an excitement thing. Not like necessarily the being a nudist is an exciting thing, but it's definitely a more out there thing, like, than like the common majority of people would say. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't consider it to be a very odd thing, like, at this point in my life and with all the things I've done. But if I asked any of my relatives, they would all be like, that's insane. You would never do that, right? And I'd have to be like, I'm sorry, I have to take a call. Bye.
Yeah. My relatives have learned the hard way not to ask me questions they don't want the answer to. I've taken up a rule of life that if they ask a question, they're going to get a truthful answer, even if they don't want to hear. I'm like, don't ask the question then.
Right, and that's the way I want to be. It's just like some people ain't flowing with it, so.
Yeah.
Odd.
Sometimes it can be easier, but you know, we also have families that live closer to the Bible Belt region, so, you know, under assumptions and ideas and things like that, you know, it's not always easy to
with that, so
to move the open-mindedness onto others around here for sure. But, you know, we can try our hardest, can't we?
Of course.
But I guess that kind of leads into another one of your questions, though. Whether it's a confidence thing, a relaxation thing, or like an interest thing, what do people usually tell you whenever they're getting into the nudistry?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by your phrasing.
Okay, sorry. Why do people usually get into it? The whole nudity thing.
Okay. So that's what I thought, but I want to be sure. So for me personally, I shared a bedroom with my brother. The day he moved out, from there on, every single night that I can remember where I didn't have a friend over, I was sleeping naked.
Okay.
And whenever I got my own place, I was, chilling around the house naked if I didn't want a window open. And to be honest, I think I kind of always knew I was somewhat into it. There is like this whole weird like thing where there's like a lot of different kinds of people. Like there's a decent number of guys that whenever they see a girl on the street, they're like, "Oh, look at that ass." I was never that kind of person.
Yeah,
So
me too,
I
bud.
thought
That's a good thing.
I was like, okay, so I know I like to be naked. I know seeing other people naked will more than likely not faze me. So what happens next? I ended up going up to New York to visit a friend, and I took one of my friends with me. And I told him on the way back we were going to go to a nudist beach, and he thought I was joking, and I somewhat was. But as we were leaving my friend's house, I was like, okay, I'm gonna plug this into the GPS. This is happening now.
No, I mean, you thought it was kidding. The joke's back there. He didn't come with us. We left jokes at home. We're going. See,
Of course.
that is something I've been in the vicinity of like a beach like that before, but every time I've been on vacation, I have been there with my parents or like my family. So it's never really been a kind of thing I want to do around them, obviously, but I don't know. Like I guess is there a beach near where you live?
So near me, not exactly, but
Okay.
about 7 hours away. It's in a Sandy Hook. It's closer to New York.
Okay, gotcha. Damn.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wonder how many months of the year they're open. Does it get cold over there? I wonder.
Yeah, it gets very,
Yeah.
very cold over here. To be honest, I don't know how many months they're open. I have been there early spring and fairly late autumn, but I've never tried in the winter. I usually shell up at my house during winter. I did not do good with cold weather at all.
I know that there's I'm sure they're open year round because it's Florida, but there's like a fully nudist resort in Florida that I've had a couple friends visit before. And it seems to be like a really interesting concept to be able to like stay at a place like that and
It's
just be able to do that
all-inclusive.
like, full time for a minute.
It's like all
I
inclusive.
really want to go a place like that.
But it's all exclusive. And by clothes, I mean, sorry. All clothes exclusive. Never mind. Let's move on.
The place you're talking about, by the way, I think its name is Cypress Cave. And
That
one
seems
of
like it.
I think one of the greatest things I heard about it is like, I think it was like $50 a week or something like that to stay there, or used to be.
Oh.
Something like that. So
That's
like a trip
crazy.
to Florida, $50 a week, you just have to be naked. Sounds great to
You
me.
don't even gotta bring no clothes. Packing gonna be so hard.
Oh, I can just bring my travel along. Just for like my blow dryer and my what do I have? What do I take with me other than my clothes? What the hell do you take with you other than your clothes when you go on vacation? I guess you maybe bring a camera, but I'm always
Probably
just
bring some like bathroom essentials.
my
Like
mom
your
always
toothbrush.
yeah I bring a toothbrush.
Okay, well, some of us, our family's vacation on a budget, so you bring most of the things you need.
Gotcha. So, my mom would always bring sunscreen, which that's whatever. Obviously, a mom's gonna bring sunscreen. That what I would rather say though is, how much sunscreen? Like at like if there's an outing, how much
Oh yeah,
sunscreen?
you gotta like sunscreen head to toe, right?
As a ginger, I should, but I usually don't. I get
Oh, man.
sunburnt all over the place, and I just kind of keep rotating myself. My thought process is one side will cool off before the other side gets too hot.
There you
But what
go.
ends up happening is I kind of do like a rotisserie chicken on
Yeah,
myself.
I was gonna say. Man, I would hope not, because we looked up
Lord.
on a previous episode how they make the rotisserie chicken, and it's kind of cursed.
I'm kind of upset. I'm like, they're gypping you on that rotisserie chicken.
It's some weird like saline solution that they pump into it to keep it good for longer, because it's usually like the day old chickens that they use.
But it makes the chicken weigh more, so they can charge you more for it.
That. Whoa! Wait! That's cheating.
That's
not
cheating.
allowed. Yeah, that's cheating.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's cheaper than them buying like a full ass chicken somewhere, but like they do upcharge it because of the way that they cook it and prepare it, though. It's weird.
I could probably buy a live chicken in my area for like $30 if I tried.
Yo, apparently you and my sister both, because she was 11, now 7 of them in her backyard.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah,
that's intense.
Yeah, she just, I guess, was wanting to get into the hobby recently and bought 3, and then she liked them too much, so she got more.
I think that's usually how it goes with chickens. Like, you're either not a chicken person or you have a lot of chickens. There's no in between.
Well,
you can't just have a couple chickens. You gotta have many chickens.
We're slightly farm raised too, so we're kind of used to having like animals around us and taking care of them as well. But my grandpa is a cow farmer specifically, though. He doesn't do any other livestock.
I had a grandfather who was also a beef farmer.
Yo.
Ooh.
Did you do like goat milk, or wait? Do farmers keep goats for any reason other than their milk?
Honestly, we barely even like did the milk stuff. I think they largely just kind of became pets that happened to be on like the field.
Oh, I tell you, raising baby goats is a dream profession for me.
Really?
Have you seen baby goats?
Apparently, that's my dream. They're so cute.
They're adorable, really, and the way they jump around. Oh god, the noises they make. They're cuter than human babies. Not an argument, factual statement.
Aubrey, have we gotten... No, there's a later season in Trailer Park Boys where Ricky adopts a baby goat. So, and I definitely, I would agree with you on that. Dude, I don't even remember what he called the thing. He adopts so many animals in that show. Sorry, that's a sidetrack on a sidetrack. You don't need to start on Trailer Park Boys again.
Yeah.
So anyway, I could also see why you wouldn't want to wear sunscreen at one of these events too, because I mean, if you were covering your whole body with it, you would like reek of the smell, right?
But the smell of sunscreen's not bad.
Really?
Honestly, I think most people do sunscreen their whole body. I am just incredibly lazy and willing to suffer for the next week for no apparent reason other than laziness.
Hey,
Once they invented spray sunscreen, I was good. I was like, spray sunscreen? All right, you got me. I'll do it. But regular sunscreen...
Spray sunscreen and ball sacks don't really go together very well.
That's true.
Yeah, I could see that.
Probably wouldn't do well on genitalia at all.
Dude,
across the board.
I bet you a sunburn would probably be even worse, though. Oh, God. Has somebody ever sunburned their balls before? All right. Google, you're coming up.
100% somebody sunburned their balls. On more than one occasion.
Someone has to have done it. They had to have done it.
Yeah, enough people spend enough time outside naked, it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Or in a tanning bed.
Your face looked a little bit disturbed there for a second.
No, just inquisical. All right, I found it. A Reddit, no stupid questions. It just happened to be what came up first. Can you get sunburnt on your dick and balls? Alternatively, if I went to a nude beach, hey, fitting, would I have to apply sunblock to the goods? If so, how do you keep the entire beach from sticking to them? So, like, yeah, like the sand. The answer's yes, trust me. What happened? My dick started to turn red, and it was a pain in the ass. Well, not on the ass, in fact. Removing the sand from my skin was not a good time. Sunburnt penis, and then there's a link. Oh God. Edit. Indicated below, I should have provided this thumbnail preview. Yeah, that would have been a good idea, sir. Alright, I mean, I'm going to click on the link, though.
Is it sunburned dick and balls?
Oh, okay, no. It's just somebody's arm. But it's somebody's arm who has a lot of skin peeling off of it. So yeah, I think I get what they're going for.
So he's saying his penis shed a whole layer. He's saying is shed into a new skin like a newborn snake.
Oh, okay, here.
That sounds terrifying.
Absolutely can confirm. Fell asleep nude on a pool float at a friend's New Year's Eve party in 2009. Woke up at 9 a.m. still floating in the pool, and my bare junk copping the full brunt of scorching QLT summer sun. Not an enjoyable experience. So definitely yes, and people have talked about it.
He
Yeah.
should make a novel about this. That guy had glorious wording.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's summer, we here at What Are We Talking About would like to remind you that you need to sunscreen your dick and balls, maybe your vagina.
You never know.
Just a good reminder.
Don't try to do butthole sunning. That is fake. Don't believe Instagram.
Yo, yeah. I have heard about that. That's like the thing they do where like you're like you're laying on your front and you spread them wide to let the sun's energy come into your butt, right? Like that.
Why is it the sun's energy? Why can't you just be getting some rays from the sun and tanning your ass? You got to be sucking up the energy into your booty hole.
Well, yeah, you're spreading your cheeks to let it in.
Just suck up the sun's energy in a normal way, like stand there like a plant. I don't know.
That's what they do. They stand like a plant, just their asses in the air and they're on their hands. They're very acrobatic people.
Wait, I didn't know about that.
What, the sun people?
I'm just joking, but no, there are people that like believe that. I would not recommend doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Where did I hear about that from too? It was a medical podcast that usually goes into like pseudoscience-y stuff and talking about why it's fucking wild. That's what it was. Yeah. Sawbones, give it a listen. Sydney McElroy, she knows what she's talking about.
She does.
So, I feel like anything else I read on this list of Google results will probably give me the same result, but
I think we've hit really just about everything.
I put a giant light on my balls to triple my testosterone. Okay, sorry, no, this is Men's Health. To triple my testosterone levels. All right, yeah, sure. I'm not really a nudist kind of guy. Get off this podcast then. The last nudist beach I visited primarily featured lots of curly hair, very unattractive gonads, and disturbing volleyball game spectacle. So ever since okay, who's this guy?
Okay, but like, who's going to the nudist beach just to look at naked people? Like, that's not the right reason, home dog. Like, if you're just going to see beautiful people, go to fucking LA, I guess, or Miami. But you're still gonna have to see. Yeah, that too. But you're still gonna see some stuff that maybe you don't want to see, but that's good because you're not supposed to be turned on.
I tend to. Oh, go ahead.
I have like an entire range. I'm gonna try to shorten it. I tried to do a YouTube video about this, and I tried to keep it short. And what was supposed to be like a 2-minute rant ended up turning into 20 minutes. But I really dislike the all-consuming question that you get all the time of, what you see people that you don't want to see naked? The first guy I saw naked had a dick that was down to his kneecaps, and he was taller than I was. And that was terrifying for me. I was like, this is not an expectation I can meet. Wow. And then it normalized fairly quick. I didn't even know he was naked. Like, I thought he was just wearing like a small swimsuit from a distance because I thought it was just all leg right there, going on.
Yeah, his third leg. The tripod, as they call it.
You don't... If you're going to a nudist event just to look at naked bodies, as she was saying, you're definitely not in the right place. Anyone can come to them, and you're going to see stuff that you're not going to find attractive, but that's not really the point of it.
Right.
Yeah, it really doesn't seem like that.
Is that, have you ever experienced people trying to like come to a nudist event for those reasons, or like join the group for those reasons, or do they usually steer clear?
I personally haven't, but creepers typically do not last long in nudist communities.
Gotcha. People are usually
for various reasons, yeah.
People are usually pretty like upfront and confrontational about that sort of stuff. I mean, to be fair, if you're getting I mean, if you're being confronted by a naked person versus a clothed person, which one is gonna leave more of an impact on you? Come on.
So one of the other things, and this is something I think nudism helped me with. I don't know how bad I was about it. I don't feel like I was like the worst person with it, but it helps give like realistic expectations on the human body. And honestly, you eventually just kind of learn like everyone has like their own thing going on, and you kind of start registering people's bodies as just them, and it kind of helps with like personal connection and everything else. It's hard to describe, but I found that true.
I get what you're saying. It's almost like you are seeing them literally, that like that is them. Like this is this person fully presented to you. Like and I mean, but the fact that like that's not what you're there for, that's not weird to anybody. Like you're just trying to all be in a space together where like you feel like you belong. And I feel like that belonging energy, it's
exactly.
It's not only is it contagious, but also, I mean, I don't know, it just seems it's funny because like I feel like even in media, whenever they portray nudist colonies and things like that, like even when it's like out of parody or joke or something, they're still usually really wholesome people.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say Vice did a video, which I know Vice is not a great place to get videos and things like that. I'll preface it like that. But there is one Vice reporter, Taji, that I really like because he's just adorable. He's been doing this video series like called The Path to a Better Man or something. He's just trying to better himself as a human being. And like one of the first episodes is he goes to a nudist colony. And that's like most of the focus of the episode is just like how like healing and accepting and like non-judgmental it was. And they don't make a mockery of anything. They portray it from really just Taji's point of view and his opinions, which are, I would say, good, wholesome things.
It's very easy to... I have 2 points to make about what you just said. It's very easy to prejudge someone based upon their clothing. Very, very easy. Like, for example, I'm always wearing cheap shirts and stuff like that. It's very uncommon that you'll see me wearing shoes. I'm always wearing sandals or flip-flops. It's very easy to judge someone on their clothing. The second thing, and this story happens to... I'm trying to think of a way to get through this without getting teary-eyed, to be honest.
Oh, damn.
So, my friend that I actually took to the beach, it's not about me, it's about a friend. I just feel really bad, and like what he said hit me really hard. The friend I actually took is, he's Asian. His, like, he looks Asian and everything else. And where we live in Pittsburgh is still kind of old school in its way of thinking in a lot of ways.
That really sucks.
So there's a lot of racist people around here, and he grew up originally in Philadelphia, and he had the same experience. So I got him to go to an event with me after the beach and stuff, and we were doing wet sauna, dry sauna. We were like swimming. He spent a decent bit of time reading a book, talking to other software developers about different coding stuff. And after we left, he's like, dude, I need to talk to you for a second. And I was like, oh, is everything okay? He's like, this is the most I've ever felt accepted since I've moved to this city. And like, I didn't know how to even reply to that. Like, it hurt a lot, to be honest, like knowing he's had to go through those kind of experiences. He used to live with me, and my old landlord, and this is how bad this area is, he's paying for rent and everything, used to call him a beaner. Yeah, that's how bad this area is. He's paying for rent and everything else.
Just,
I'm not saying...
Can I give my check to you every month, sir?
Can I get half off for this bullshit?
This area, and not everyone here is like this, but like that. But there's a lot of people like that in this area.
Right. I
Um,
mean, yeah, being Midwestern Bible Belt living
Yeah.
people, it's very much the same thing. It's just
queer
like,
community definitely has a lot of issues,
yeah,
like deals with a lot of issues like that too. But I mean, at the same time, like I feel like it. We tend to jump into crowds pretty easily, though. Like there's always somewhere like you can go usually if you want to like meet other people like you. But I mean, that's
Of
not the
course.
same for all groups. It's not the same for all people. I mean, well, you
right.
A
know,
lot
like
of
at least
a
I mean,
lot
I
of
guess it
nudists.
was
Sorry.
sorry. I guess
No.
it was really it was good that you were able to like bring him to that experience and like have that with him. I'm sure like must have been quite the bonding experience for the two of you too.
Yeah. It was the first time we did it. There's some funny stuff that happened that I made jokes about. But the second time, after everything, he signed up for like a membership at the club and everything else, and he goes with me basically every event.
Hell yeah.
Uh, it's a lot of people consider like the people they hang out with as like at nudist events as basically their second family.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Same. I could
yeah,
see that.
And that's, I mean, it's also like being an adult, navigating friendships after college, if you did college or after high school, is hard because
Whoa.
you're like, I'm not just like in the same realm as these people per se. Like, I have to meet people outside of what I do for a living,
Yeah.
outside of, you know,
How do you do
that
that?
kind of stuff. And that's a way to do that, you know,
Yeah. No,
I
and
have this
find,
whole thing
like you
with
said, like-minded and open-minded type people. Um,
uh, I have a whole thing of don't be friends with coworkers sort of deal. Uh, I always meet people either gaming or out hiking or at nudist events.
Hmm.
yeah.
See,
I
yeah,
like
I've
to, I
got
mean,
a
like, I'll be friends with my coworkers, but it's like an arm's length kind of thing. Like, listen, I still
Exactly.
gotta have my own stuff going on. Like, you can't know everything about my life.
yeah, me and her too. Since we're
Yeah, oh
working.
yeah, especially since we work in the same place and we know each other outside of work, knew each other previously. Like, it's it's a whole other
She
game because
hates
I'm like,
me.
oh no, our coworkers probably think that I hate him. Like, I say so many things to him all day where I'm like, "Hey, you little shit, you're not supposed to be here." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "He's not."
That's fantastic.
I mean, that's how our friendship started, though. I mean, in the theater department, everybody thought that we hated each other too. But I mean, that's just the. It was just fun to tear into each other. Because I mean, we knew we were joking,
Yeah,
and I really don't have that with a lot of friends. It's weird. I guess you just always like find those people.
yeah.
The
I
best
think
kind of friendships are like that.
finding good friends is all about like who can you push boundaries with, not like in a negative way, but like in a positive way.
Like, who can I really like be myself around? And you know
Right.
what? I feel like the kind of like people and communities that like you're getting immersed in, and like we're talking to people about like experiencing getting immersed in, like feel like that's like that to the upteenth level. Because I mean, that is like the most, you are being yourself, you are yourself in front of them. Like
You
there's
really are.
there's no preconceptions. I mean, yeah, you would walk, I'm sure you would walk around that room and see like the millionaire, or like the politician, or like all these other people, and like you wouldn't know that at first glance because they don't have any like crazy like suit or anything like that on.
There's no
Like,
markers,
yeah,
you know.
you're just a person, and you have to like walk up and talk to this person to actually get to know them, you know.
It's crazy how many people there are like extremely successful, like we were talking about earlier. One of the people I talk to very, very often is this guy and his wife. He was a news anchor that retired in his 40s,
Oh, okay.
and now
Damn.
he does like freelance videos for some, I forget what company he said specifically, but it was like a film company over in like the Hollywood area, like stuff you'd see in movies. He'd do like extra clips for them and stuff like that if they
Okay.
needed one of this
Damn.
area.
That's cool. Man, that's the life. Retire early and then just come out of retirement to do something fun.
Yeah.
He probably gets paid a lot of money just to do like a 5-second photo of like a tree or something.
God, I wish that were me. Oh well.
Same.
I have revised my acting resume actually today, so hopefully I can actually do some shit again. I know last episode I said I am officially a voice actor now, but now I am. I have a resume. Yesterday I had a demo. Today I have a resume.
I think honestly, the only thing that makes you an actor is wanting to be an actor. Because how many people out there want to be actors and call themselves actors? They just do. Like, I have a theater degree, okay? I could at least use that and call myself an actor. Might not have any credits, but I have a degree.
As a person that's had success in stand-up comedy, doing any kind of entertainment, and now, mind you, I can be completely wrong and everything else, but for the experience level I have, I should never have gone some of the paid gigs I've done. But what got me farther than most people is being extremely open to like new ideas and new people. There's literally just a post on like stand-up comedy local stand-up comedy Facebook page like, hey, I'm gonna have a cookout, any comedians want to come over? And me and like 2 other people just showed up. And I was just like, okay, we're going
I got nothing to do. Well,
eventually that led into a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, and I mean this is why like
networking.
Part of why we wanted to get you on here too, like to talk to new and interesting people. Because I mean we love talking to people about their weird interests, but like I think we have spent a lot of time talking to like people that, like I said, we've already like known for a long time or like really close friends of ours, but I think it was high time that we try something new and actually like get some fresh faces around and like talk to them about their stories, because this is, I don't know, I feel like a baseline, even like when I was making this show, like that's what I wanted to do, like I guess like that level of human connection in a way. So
I appreciate being the first non-real life person on the show. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
That being said, if any of our listeners are interested in being interviewed on the show or being on the show at some point, please send us an email at wawta69@gmail.com.
Oh no, there's some. Oh, I got it in the link, but go ahead.
It's down in the link. I probably said it wrong, but it's Watapod.
No, it's Watamail69.
Watamail. WAWTA mail 69@gmail.com.
Please, we want to talk to everybody.
Hell yeah.
Yes. But as always, you can also send us questions, suggestions, requests, anything at that email.
Please, I'd like for it to not just be spam.
Dude, that would be good.
Other thing, sorry, my mind works. I have really bad ADHD, and my mind works in very weird ways. The other thing I always keep in mind, and this is something that kind of carried over from whenever I was like doing professional gaming, specifically Yu-Gi-Oh and Halo. I am extremely analytical on what worked and what doesn't. I'm very good at being truthful with myself, basically. A lot of people are not exactly great at that.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, that we all have that like base like overconfidence bias towards ourselves that like you want to feel like you're better at certain things than you actually are, because I mean you put that confidence in yourself. Even someone without confidence, like me, especially 5 years ago, I still thought I was good at some shit that I'd never done before. I mean, we just have our things that we're like, yeah, I can do this shit, because that's your identity.
Of course.
You know how to do certain things, and that's your claim.
I got lucky in like kind of learning that lesson whenever I was doing like Yu-Gi-Oh specifically. I was a sponsored Yu-Gi-Oh player making about, it was only like $20K a year off of it, doing like events and stuff like that.
That's still $20K off Yu-Gi-Oh.
Still,
that's more than most people that own Yu-Gi-Oh cards can say.
It lasted for about a year and a half, but it was still great for like when it lasted. But I could like literally get top at every single event and I still have one of my friends or someone I knew in real life calling me a bad player. And on the retrospect, I'd see someone at like a local event always like talking bad on like every single player that was equal skill of him. What
Yeah.
I learned was just be, keep your expectations low and keep learning, keep growing. Don't try to like force an issue. If you see like a weakness, don't blame someone else, blame yourself, even if it's probably not your fault. League of Legends players, don't blame your teammates.
Oh no.
Kind of deal.
Oh, I feel that. Definitely
Oh,
feel
yeah.
that. Well, everybody, we all got our own needs, but yeah, I don't know. I think personally, it's healthier even just to not choose to get mad at anybody. Like, you don't have to get mad at yourself. You don't have to get mad at somebody else. You can just, it's a loss. You take the L. Like, we all lose. We all make failures. In fact, like, the failures, it's a phrase that's been said a million times. Like, you learn from those failures, and you get your ass kicked by somebody's Exodia deck, you're gonna know how to take it on the next time. Like, it's that simple. I'm sure that's a pretty easy one to deal with. Do many people run Exodia? That's the only thing I really know about Yu-Gi-Oh.
I haven't played for a long time, but whenever I was still playing, no.
Didn't think
it has
so.
been well faded out.
It just seems, I mean, it's just, it seems like such an unfair way to win. I just drew through my whole deck and I have these 5 cards. That means that I win. Fuck you. They were all on the top because of random chance.
One of my favorite decks, just as I got into the game, you would start the game usually 5 cards in your hand. This deck's goal on turn 1 was to discard 4 cards out of your opponent's hand.
Yeah, okay.
I'd say it had like a 40% success rate, but still,
hey,
if it happened, the other player kind of just auto lost the game.
Yeah, I guess you don't really have anything to go off of. But okay, we are actually like running pretty close to time, but I did want to get at least one more question in before we got out of here.
Okay.
Let me choose wisely here. Oh, these are all really good though. I guess. Yeah, are there's not family friendly events, right? Like, I feel like, do people bring their kids to this sort of stuff?
So it is a touchy subject, but yes, there are family friendly events. One that I was at, actually, there's a small mishap where someone thought someone was taking a picture through a window, and people got ready to fight basically immediately. Like, don't do that kind of stuff. Gotcha. It ended up being someone's phone that he did not turn, like, he got a text message, it would make the light flash on the phone.
Flash. Yeah, that's
but
oofy.
It's a whole thing.
I bet you he wished he left his phone in his locker that day.
Yeah, there was no actual issues after like people figured out what was going on, but yes, there are family friendly events and stuff like that. Honestly, I don't
see why that would be a touchy issue.
As a person without kids, that's why I don't know if I want to like touch on it
right.
too much.
I don't have kids, and I don't want kids, so I don't really want to be around your kids.
Yeah.
But.
Oh wait, let me ask another. All right, I'm gonna ask a different one then for the actual for the audio part, so we don't cap it off on that. Can you flirt with people? Do people actually like meet people at these sorts of things? I feel like it's kind of, like, I see people flirt with people everywhere, but I wonder how often does that happen whenever everybody's in their birthday suits.
So I mean, every nudist event I've ever been to, and I imagine almost all of them are very strictly non-sexual. But that does not mean you cannot flirt with people. It means walk a tighter line. Honestly, be the person you should be in clothing, sort of deal. Like, don't. Your version of flirting shouldn't be, running up to someone and grabbing their ass or being like,
Yeah.
nice rack or something like that. You can like start a conversation with someone, and like if it's going well, you can be like, hey, I'm enjoying talking to you, just like the same way you would do it with clothing if you're not being a creeper, sort of
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
However, if someone does feel like you're creeping on them and it's not going well, you should probably just be like, well, it was nice talking to you, and just kind of get out of the situation. Just, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like nudists are violent people or anything like that. I'm far from saying that. They're not violent people. But think of it this way. Whenever people are at their weakest point and people are like targeting like the weakest members, trying to be like a creeper about it, the people that tend to be stronger are going to defend them and be like, can you, not bother the girl, or you can't have your phone out whenever there's kids around, stuff like that,
I mean, that
Yeah.
makes total sense. I mean, you gotta have, without the base layer of safety, you have to have some other kind of what's the word?
Defense
not
security.
just another layer of replacement for that security. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to hear that like members of the community are very like aware and responsive about that sort of stuff too. I'm sure it helps. It helps people who are new to it get into it as well, with it being that way.
There, at the same event I met the old lady at, I was actually kind of scared. Like, I was in like the wet sauna, so steam room, with a couple girls that were my age, and I was still new to it and scared like they would perceive me as like being creepy or flirting with them. And I was just sitting there staring at the ceiling while responding to their questions and stuff. Eventually, one of them, she spread her legs and was like, dude, can you just look at me and get this over with? I think I'm the first guy to ever make a situation more weird by not looking at the naked girl.
Yo, yeah.
It
I
was the
love.
same way when I was friends with my boyfriend. So
I feel you on that, sir. I create that sort of energy. Oh, wow. Wow. This was really cool to get to chat with you about. Like I said, I've never talked to somebody like that's been part of the community before, so very eye-opening.
It's really cool talking to you guys too.
Yeah, I'm really happy we could have you
Yeah.
here. Yeah, I was really worried whenever that freaking subreddit wouldn't let me post on it because I don't have Reddit karma, but we made it work. He's here. Take that, Reddit.
I saw the notification on my phone and then went to look so I could like possibly reply, and it's like, it's not there. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it got there eventually. It found its way. But anyway, yeah. This has been very eye-opening, but I don't feel like I've asked you all the questions I want to. So if you're down for it, we should definitely get you on again sometime to talk
Of
about this
course.
more. Maybe you'll have some more stories as well. Who knows?
I have all the stories.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I'd love to be on it sometime. One thing, if you are interested in trying to, be a nudist, look on your local city's Reddit, look on your local city's meetup, and see if you can find a group. It's not uncommon for my city to have beginner-friendly events where if you want to, you can wear underwear to them.
Okay.
But yeah, I recommend everyone to try it out. Just bring a towel and have fun.
Well, hell yeah. Before we get out of here, would you like to toss out do a little bit of a little
let the listeners know where they can find you.
yeah, like what you get up to, what you're doing, where can they hear from you from?
Of course. So very soon, I'm going to be posting a lot of short clips onto my YouTube, which you can find at Peeping Otter. and I might take up streaming again on twitch.tv, same username, Peeping Otter. I have the best Dogecoin jokes. I have some AMC jokes. I have every nudist joke under the sea, so you know.
There we go.
Nice. Hell yeah. No,
Hell
that's
yeah.
that's some real self-marketing. I gotta say, you've been the best guest at it so far. But like I've said, most of our guests have been our friends. So, but hey,
I'm sure your friends are great people because you guys are pretty cool yourselves.
hey, yeah,
There you
they're pretty tight. I'm okay though. I try. All right. Well, hey,
All right.
it has been wonderful having you, sir, and I hope that maybe next time we'll know what we're talking about.
Thank you very much.
And thank you guys for tuning in. You have a great day.